is only war.
What is up, gents? 40k Dirtbags here. We won a grand tournament over the last weekend. We played Chaos Space Marines. We're going to do a 5-video event because it was 5 games. We went the only person to go 5-0. And I wanted to share with you guys kind of tactics, what we did good, what we could have done better, the lists we played against. And the last game was a very, very super competitive game. We actually beat the guy who won Atlantic City Open this year. First time I got to meet him and play against him. Really cool dude. But we're going to go over each game for you guys. I'm going to save the beginning of this clip. So if you guys have already seen this, fast forward to where the video starts. But we're going to go over the list specifically in every single video, just so you guys know exactly what we did for each video. So if you guys play a specific army, you can click on the video and see everything you guys need. So guys, appreciate it. Let's get into the video. First, I'd like to thank all of my Patreons. I wouldn't be doing this without you guys. You guys help grow the channel. We did just hit 7,000 subscribers as of making this video. So you'll see kind of how much we grew since then. But first off, we're going to go into the merch. So like I said, if you guys already seen this, fast forward to the video. But we got merch, $1 for Dirtbag Dice. We got a bunch of different colors. We have green, orange, silver, blue, and a black, red color dice, which is, they all look sick. And all these stickers we sell with the dice. And then we have models such as the Kaldis Assassin and Codiez. We are working on other models for 3D prints as well, but they are pretty similar to what you see on the tabletop, so you can use them as proxies. And then also the objective markers, if you see them in any of the games, they are sold in the link below. If you guys are interested in getting some new objective markers, you can pick any one of the pictures you see to my left here and put them on an objective mark and change the color for each one as well. They're all customizable. So that's the merch. But let's get into the video. First off, we're going to go over the list. So starting off at the top, we bring Abaddon the Spoiler. Now this isn't needed. There's a lot of lists out there that run triple Curse Cultists with triple Lords and Chosen, stuff like that. We didn't bring any of the Chosen or any of the Lords in this matchup or in this grand tournament. We were mainly focused on Abaddon and the Accursed Cultists. And if you could deal with the Accursed Cultists, then you still have to deal with Abaddon. So Abaddon specifically with this list, you bring him for the 4+ invuln save. It gets around a lot of different stuff. It's a 6-inch aura, so every single turn you're going to have basically one of your Accursed Cultist models within 6 inches of Abaddon. So that way you can have your entire unit have a 4+ invuln save. So it skews the math so much by having a little model tank a 4+ invuln melt a shot to the face multiple times coming in. So the way to kill this is mass volume of attacks compared to big shots trying to kill big guys in the unit. Because then you just take it on a little dark commune model and they die, and then boom, you don't really lose anything from it. So he's in there specifically for the 4+ invuln, and he takes care of any major tanks or huge units that you're really afraid of getting to you, because he's kind of just camping behind a wall, and then you need to launch him out when you need to launch him out. But Abaddon still super good, 310 points. And then we got the Dark Commune. We have 2 of them as Undivided, and one of them is Nurgle. I started to run the Nurgle Undivided because when you start them on the table, you at least have a unit that can't be shot at outside 12 inches. And it really helps with turn 1 and turn 2 by taking over the center or taking over an objective that you want to just camp your 30 OBSEC unit onto, and then people have to get close to deal with them, or if they get too close, you just advance in charge and get in their face with your Nurgle unit. Now, they don't do too much damage compared to the Undivided, but they're there just to be a nuisance and kind of control the board in the center and on a far objective, because they can't be shot with the Nurgle strat. Now, we have 3 units of these guys because they naturally give the unit a 5+ invuln save, but once per game, you can do the advance and charge, +1 hit, +1 wound, which kills almost anything in the game, especially with full rerolls to hit, full rerolls to wound for 1 CP. So 2 units of Undivided, 1 with Nurgle. Then Cultist mobs, I just love this in Chaos Space Marines because they have sticky objective. So you always start 1 unit of these guys on your home field objective, so that way you at least make it sticky. So if they do happen to die, you still have a sticky objective that you can still get points. This has saved so many games getting that extra 5 or 10 points just because you have your home field objective. Again, it also helps with secondaries, where if you control your home field objective and then control center objective, you get points for your secondary game as well. So unit of cultists, almost 100% in all my lists. This list has 2 Curse Cultists, just so you can have 2 extra blob squads that one can do for blocking out your opponent. Move blocking, which we're going to do a video on, but move blocking, running to the center, stealing an objective, or just kind of getting secondary objectives in the corners if you want to put one into reserves as well. But again, they're both Nurgle just because the Nurgle on your defensive units is so good, because if you need them to survive for points, you can't be shot outside 12 inches. So let's say they're bombarding you with Plague Burst Crawlers from super far away, you could just spend 1 CP. Now they can't shoot at your Nurgle unit on turn 1 because you really want to make that home field objective sticky. So a unit of Legionnaires to piggyback with Abaddon. Abaddon does kind of need a bodyguard unit, so you can just spend 90 points for an extra 10 wounds, all with a 4-up invuln save because they're going to be attached to Abaddon, and they have all the marks. So they're able to advance and charge if you need to, fall back, shoot and charge, get exploding 5s or 5s to shooting, or 5s in melee because they're corn. So they get all the marks, which is great. You can bring a last cannon. I'm probably going to switch it up and get rid of the last cannon, but again, I'm not sure. Just one extra random shot that can explode on 5s. Strength 12 -1 d6 +1 damage is not bad, just to have an extra long shot. It might be the first one to die in your unit, but that's fine. And why you bring the Legionnaires is you put them with Abaddon. So if the model is on an objective, let's say you charge a unit and that unit's on an objective, Abaddon gains the full rerolls to wound because of the Legionnaires. So he has devastating wounds, 3 damage, AP 4. So he's running in, hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s because of Undivided, and then getting full rerolls to wound, most of the time wounding on 2s. So he's just doing so many devastating wounds to the unit that you're attacking because of the Legionnaires. The last thing that you bring the Legionnaires for is because of the reroll for the Dark Pact. So Abaddon gets me a 2-up Dark Pact CP. So if you fail your Dark Pact, you can have these guys re-roll it because of the icon in the unit. So you roll 5 up. If you don't roll it, you get 1 free reroll because of the icon. And then if you pass it, then you roll 2+. So many times I failed a 5 up, and then you re-roll it because of the Legionnaires, and then boom, you get your Dark Pact for a 2-up save or 2-up CP, which is huge. So then obviously you have your 3 accursed cultists attached with your Dark Communes. 2 are Undivided, 1 is Nurgle. Spikes, very good for secondary mission. They're 85 points. They're also Nurgle because you could bring Plasma Pistol and 2 Plasma Guns. So basically, you're coming in on the side table edge with 5 Plasma Shots, overcharging, obviously, and Dark Pacting. So you're exploding on 5s, and then you're Strength 8, so you're just nuking Marines most of the time coming in from the board edge. I've killed 5, 6, 7 Marines with these guys coming in, hitting on 3s, exploding on 5s, and then wounding on 2s. AP 3, 2 damage. It's kind of scary what these guys potentially could do, plus all the bolter shots, which I almost always forget about. But really good coming in from the side table edge. But what really makes them good is you can block out so much of your backfield with them. So as long as you keep them within 6 inches of the board edge, you can take them off the board edge at the end of your opponent's turn and bring them back on. So almost every single turn you're taking them off, because once you get your secondaries drawn, you can then bring them back on either the same spot, just because if you need to block out the board edge, you block out the board edge. But if you need them that turn, let's say investigate signals, behind enemy lines, engage in all fronts, or just block out an edge, you can bring them on, keep them 2 inches away from each other, bring them in 6 inches, and then boom, that's a huge 25-inch gap that you can block out of deep strikes or something like that. So they're really good for secondaries and really good at blocking out the backfield. And if you need them to come in late game to shoot something, they could do that as well. 2 Forge Fiends, because they're just super good for their points still. 1 Nurgle. This one should be Undivided, so I changed it in, I think, my tournament list. So I changed it to Undivided because it performed so well in test games. So I'm actually changing it right now. So the Undivided, it is always a 1 in reserves. The Nurgle one starts on the table, so it can't be shot at turn 1. So you put it behind the wall or something, and you always want to make sure you can walk at 8 inches and potentially get a shot off on something. But that one's starting on the table because it has the Nurgle strat, so you won't be able to be shot back outside 12 inches. So the Undivided comes in from a table edge almost always, and then gets a line of sight to what you want to kill. It's made to kill 10 squads of Terminators. So 10-man units or Terminators, that's basically what the Forge Fiends are made to kill. But also killing tanks and stuff because of the Undivided you spend 1 CP to reroll hits and wounds. So your devastating wounds just get carried over like extreme because of the rerolls. So 1 Nurgle, 1 Undivided with the Forge Fiends. And then we have 3 units of 3 Nurglings. They're just super good for blocking out secondaries, turn 1, objectives, all that stuff. So they're OBSEC 0. They can't go through walls, so make sure you remember that. You start them. I usually start 2 on the table and 1 in Deep Strike. So depending on if you need to move block or block out turn 1, like let's say you're facing Space Wolves or Orcs, you're going to want to try and block out, move block your opponent as much as possible. Nurglings are really good with that, and they have -1 to hit within 6 inches in combat, which a lot of people forget about. So it's a huge aura of -1 to hit with all everything, I think, besides vehicles and monsters. So really good aura for a 35-point unit that can infiltrate and also help out with the Seekers. So the Seekers have the pregame move 9 inches, but you can't pregame move within 9 inches of another unit. So if your opponent has infiltrators and you have infiltrators, you're going to want to put down your infiltrators first and spread them out. So that way you have a little path. So your Nurglings can then, or your Seekers can move up behind them turn 1 if you have turn 1. If you have turn 2, where you don't go second or first, you can move them defensively, the Seekers, behind a wall or a ruin or whatever, so they can't be shot turn 1. But if you do at first, your Seekers can pregame move 9 inches up, and they're not blocked out by other infiltrators because of your Nurglings, and then they can move up 14 and go do something, whether it be a secondary or move block, which you're going to see a lot in this tournament, or charge something really small turn 1 just to get them across the table. So Seekers played huge stuff in this 5 match GT over the weekend. And then we have Celeste. She is just super good into Eldar, and she's really good for secondaries just because she can come back up on a 2+, and she has 9 freaking wounds for some reason. T6, 9 wounds, 4 up invuln save, and doesn't kill a lot. I've noticed, like, doesn't really kill anything. She's just mainly there to come down, flame or something, move up, charge something, hold something up in combat, but really just be there for secondaries. She has an assault weapon, so once she's down on the table, she can advance and do an action because she has an assault weapon. So again, really good at just speed 9, like 8 or 9, like really fast. So that's why she's in the list. 120 points, well worth it, because when she gets back up on a 2+, it's full wounds. So basically you're getting 2 of these models for 120 points. So that's the list. Let me know what you liked, what you didn't like, and then we'll get into each video, starting with 1 through 5, depending on what video your guys are on. All right, guys, so here is game 3 of the 5-game tournament, grand tournament that we won with Chaos Space Marines. If you guys haven't seen the first 2, they're against Space Wolves. You can go check out those videos in the description below. The next 2 will be coming up after this one, which will be Eldar as well as Orcs. Both fun matchups. One insane game, I can't wait to talk about it, and the Eldar player was super good. 1 ACO, so we actually got to play one of the best players at the tournament at the final matchup. So with this matchup, this is our boy Zach. We're going to go over turn by turn, picture by picture on what we did good, what we could have improved on, and how Zach played and how I played, and we're going over each mission for this game. So guys, let me know in the comments below what you liked, didn't like, and how we can improve on these videos. But a super simple video, short battle report, so you guys can kind of see how Blood Angels and Chaos Space Marine match up on the table. We've played this matchup so many times already. Every tournament we go to, me and Zach always play off against each other. So super fun guy to play against. He kind of tweaks his lists, knowing that he's going to go into me, which is hilarious. In this list, he destroyed me, tabled me last time I played triple Curse Cultist with a Chosen build. So once we added Abaddon back into the list, and changed it back towards my original list that I was going to take to LVO, did a little bit better. So his list changed up a little bit. So he brought the Land Raider with the Redeemer with the Flamers, super good into a Curse Cultist. 1, 2, 3 of the Melta squads, really good guys into killing vehicles, monsters, full rerolls to hit, wound, and damage, which is just murdering shit. 3 squads of these scout dudes, which surprisingly really good. If you're not playing scouts with Space Marines, Blood Angels, you should be running scouts with Space Marines. They carry a fucking crack missile, a sniper rifle, and grenades. Like, these guys hit pretty freaking hard for being 60 points with infiltrate and pre move, which is, again, super good for their points. This guy who comes down in the fight phase and gets into combat with Sanguinor, I guess, super good. I'd be playing this guy if I was Blood Angels. These guys are the Centurions with Flamers and Bolters. We have a unit of Infiltrators here and there. So 2 of the Infiltrator squads can't deep-strike within 12. Intercessors coming down. Bobo's Librarian, can't shoot one of them outside of 12. The captain with this squad, which is in the Land Raider, they have Flamers on them. And I don't know if they have Bolters as well. It might just be Flamers, but they're hard-hitting Power Fist guys with Flamers that can move up 12, get out, shoot, and charge from a Land Raider. Super scary, this unit. And one of my favorite, the Librarian Dreadnought that can teleport anybody on the battlefield within 12 inches on a 2+, just like it was Deep Strike. So really good list, Zach. He's been doing really well with it. This is something that I would definitely run if I was playing Blood Angels. Just play with your strengths, and this is his strength. So this is the deployments. It's sites of power. So we set up 18 niches on both table edge, and we have 3 in the center, 1 in our deployment zone. We get 3 points for each objective marker that we control, 6, an extra 3 if we have a leader on any one of these 3 objective markers or the opponent's objective marker. You get an additional 3 points. So you can get 6 points in the center if you have a character and unit controlling it, and then you get 3 points if you're controlling something in your deployment zone. So this is our deployment. He sets up pretty aggressively. He's got everything essentially on the 18-inch line right there behind the cover. The guys with the Power Fist and Flamers are in the Land Raider. The infiltrators and Melta guys are back here. He's got the scouts right here and up there. Did I not take a picture of turn 1 for the scouts? All right, so he's got his scout squad right here and his other scout squad right here. And the other scout squad was, I think, behind this cover. So they're super annoying. They basically could block you out a lot, especially with pregame moves. So this is our deployment. Our deployment was Abaddon and the Accursed Cultists on this side. We have the green guys again out front because they can't be shot outside 12 inches in the center. We have our Cultists on the back objective to make it sticky. We have our bikes in the back here trying to block out this side. The Seekers started right here on the line, so that way they can scooch up behind this cover. So that way they can scooch up and not be shot at, or scooch up and get secondaries turn 1 if I have turn 1. And then I had a unit of Nurglings on the other side of here as well. So unit of Nurglings here, which there's 1 left with 2 wounds, I think right behind this this wall. And then another unit of Nurglings in the back here, in case I get investigate signals turn 1. We have our Forge Fiend in the back, Nurgle, so that way if he deep strikes turn 1, he can't get anywhere near me because I lost my Forge Fiend to him turn 1 last time from his fucking bullshit teleporting Melta guys with his Dread. So I wanted to keep mine protected as much as possible because they're the ones that are going to help me kill his 2-up toughness 6 or 7 guys with the shooting. So our turn 1, Zach goes first. So Zach scooches up, gets Overwhelming Force, and bring it down, which he basically can't get turn 1 because my guys are all hidden. He fails his 2-up deep strike, so he can't really deep strike anybody anywhere, and he takes a little bit of wounds. But he did scout move up. So he scout move his scouts up there, scout move up there, scout move his other guys back there. So that was his turn 1. I couldn't really be super aggressive because if he does move out all of his guys, I'll be able to counter pretty close. Like if he moved up his Land Raider onto the center and waited a turn, I would just kind of surrounded it with most of my guys. So he doesn't get Overwhelming Force or bring it down turn 1. Our turn 1, we get Cleanse and Overwhelming Force as well on our turn 1. So he had a unit of scouts on this squad right here, so we were able to kind of move up and kill the scouts, but we did cleanse with the Seekers. So or actually I think the Nurgling cleansed. So Nurgling moved up, cleansed here, and then if I control it at the end of the turn, cleanse will go off, and they're able to kind of move out and cleanse on 2 objectives. Now in the rules, you cleanse and then you count the number of objectives that you control at the end of the turn, and for that amount of objectives you get those cleansed objectives. So you're able to actually cleanse multiple objectives in 10th edition with 1 action. So that's how we're able to do it. So these guys scooch up, tow 2 objectives, do the activation of cleanse, and then the Nurglings, I guess the Nurglings cleanse. No, these guys had to cleanse. So these guys cleansed on 2 objectives, and the Nurglings kind of just fell back so that way they don't die from the scouts. We move up the Forge Fiend there to shoot these scouts on the objective, and he just kills the scouts pretty easily. These guys move up 6 and then charge the other scouts that were blocking over here. I didn't get any points for killing them, but I just wanted to get them out of my way. And then these guys rolled a 6 for the advance. So they went from behind this cover, advance up 12 inches to over here. And then Abaddon, I think, moved up 5. So he advanced 10 inches up to over here and brought the Legionnaires with him. So I wanted my cultists to scooch up and kind of be move blockers. These guys all spread out so that way he can't deep strike anywhere on this side of the table or this side of the table, with the Nurglings blocking out the backfield. So again, I don't want him to get shots off on my Forge Fiends. That's really the goal of this game, is to not have my Forge Fiends die from his fucking melty guys. So that ended my turn. We got 5 and 3 on turn 1. His turn 2 was a pretty big turn 2. He gets he kept overwhelming force, and he gets no prisoners. So he has to try and kill me to get both. So what does he do? He teleports his dudes, which is in the shooting phase, I believe. So on his turn 2, he moves up his Land Raider 12 inches, gets on the objective. These guys hop out of the Land Raider, all the flamers. The Seeker, there's the Nurgling right there. The Seekers are about to die. These guys scooch up over to here, coming in from reserves. So these guys come in from reserves. These guys advance up to try and block out 12 inches from all over here. The Phobos Librarian are blocking out the back over here. The Centurions advance up. These guys move back, but this guy in the movement phase, I rapid ingressed my unit up here to be within 6 inches of Abaddon, so that way they get the 4-up invuln save. They basically rapid ingress over here to try and get my character on the objective, which are able to in this deployment. So character moves on the objective, so that way if he lives, I get 6 points for primary next turn. So he moves on, gets character on the objective, and everybody else kind of follows up behind him. He fucking teleports his Centurions 9 inches away from my character, which is right there, and he just wants to try and nuke that squad and kill my character off the objective as much as possible. So full squad of his Centurions over there. These guys are here to be outside 12 inches of my Nurgling unit, so he can't shoot them fully, like the Land Raider wasn't within 12. So he finishes up. He basically finishes up my Seekers. So I'm about to tell you what happened with that picture. So he finishes up my Seekers with this unit right here. The Land Raider also kills the Seekers. These guys came down in my deployment zone over here and shot at my bikes. He killed, I believe, 1 of the bikes. Cultists are still doing fine in the back. Nurgling unit is still doing fine over here. And he kills all but my character. And I believe like 2 of the accursed cultists over here. So the Centurions just nuke most of this unit over here, but he still leaves my character alive and 2 or 3 of the accursed cultists alive. So that way they're able to bring guys back in the command phase and just start kind of recouping all of the guys back, because now he doesn't have a lot of firepower to focus them down for another turn. Here's what happened. He teleports them over 9 inches away, shoots them, charges them because there's still guys alive, makes the 9-inch charge, but he rolls like a 12. So since there's not a lot of guys left, he has to get base to base with as many guys as he possibly can. So what I do is I have enough room for Abaddon to countercharge and I roll like a 10 for the counter charge. So Abaddon, his Legionnaire unit, is able to countercharge his Centurions on his turn. So he charges his 6-man Centurion squad into my unit. I then countercharge. He puts 3 Centurions into my Abaddon unit, and then 3 Centurions into the Cursed Cultist unit. So the Cursed Cultist unit, again, lives with the leader and 3 guys left. And then my Abaddon just slaps back and kills 4 Centurions on the slap back. So since he's on the objective, I have Legionnaires. I'm getting to full rerolls to wound because he's on an objective with Abaddon. So we finished that up, and this is what we finished up. So I still have all my guys behind here. The red squad hasn't been touched. The yellow squad is barely alive. I still have Abaddon, who basically walked back on against the wall over here, so that way he can kind of move out and charge something next turn. Other Forge Fiend Undivided walked in the back here. Nurgling stayed back here. This squad did their advance and charge, scooted up and try and tie up this Land Raider. He's got his Melted guys still off the objective over here. We move back, shoot and charge these guys to try and tie them up with the bikes. But what happened here? Oh, and this guy came down. The Sanguinar came down and charged over here. What happened over here was the Undivided Forge Fiend, 1 CP, shot at the 7-man squad over here and removed all of them. It was the most insane thing me and Zach have ever seen, and that's why I will never not run an Undivided Forge Fiend in my list moving forward. So that unit is just so scary, especially with the overwatching flamers and stuff like that. So I think since I was tied up, they weren't tied up in combat yet, so I don't think he overwatched because he wanted to overwatch with somebody else. So Forge Fiend came up, shot them, murdered them. This Forge Fiend scooted over and shot at the I think he shot at the Centurions over here that were still alive. So I fell back with my yellow unit. I fell back with Abaddon. And then this Nurgle Forge Fiend finished off the Centurions over here. And then the Undivided Forge Fiend got line of sight onto these guys over here and finished them off. So in one turn, basically, he lost all the Centurions and all of the Flamer Power Fist guys from the Land Raider, as well as... No, the Phobos is still alive. So that was a huge turn 2 coming in for the Chaos Space Marine. That was just a huge swing for us going into turn 2. So his turn 2, he gets the Overwhelming Force again, and then no prisoners. And then our turn 2, we get Extend Battle Lines, which is pretty easy, and Investigate Signals. So we investigated with the Nurglings over here. We deep struck Salax back here. Investigated there. We had room for our Nurglings coming in turn 2 to investigate over here. So we got 1, 2, 3, and then I think these guys investigated over here instead of charging these guys. So we actually got investigated in all 4 corners, which was huge. So we didn't want to charge these guys because we wanted them to get us 2 points at least for the Investigate Signals. So they kind of stayed back within 9 of the back and did Investigate Signals. So they're kind of still there, just chilling. About to call some ruckus on next turn. So we also got 9 for primary because we held our character over here past Battle Shock, and then we held the back objective over there. So for his turn 3, he gets 3 for holding his backfield objective, and then he gets behind enemy lines and engage on all fronts. So behind enemy lines, he already had 3 for these guys, and then engage all fronts. He had this corner, and this corner. So he gets 3 for that as well. So this is basically the end of his, this is the end of our turn 2, going into his turn 3. So this is his turn 3. Abaddon moved up, charged the Land Raider, killed the Land Raider. The red guys also advanced up and charged and killed the Land Raider. He teleported the Phobos Librarian guys over to here. Yes, so This is the opposite side, so sorry about the misdirection. So this is where the yellow squad was, down here. We slowly are bringing back the yellow squad. These guys did their once per game advance and charge to get up to here, and these guys are not really doing anything. So on his turn, the Land Raider didn't really move. This guy's stuck in combat. He flamers a bunch of guys in combat. It doesn't really do much. He teleports his guys, Phobos Librarian, over onto this objective to try and get 6 points next turn for Sites of Power. But then he charges them for, he doesn't even know why, but he charges them into my Accursed Cultist unit to try and free up the Sanguinor and kill more of the Accursed Cultists, which he rolls like an 11 or something. So he gets them super far this way, which leaves them within 20 inches of my Forge Fiend down here, so we can move up 8, be within 12 inches of his Phobos Librarian, so I'm actually able to shoot him because I get around well, I'm within 12, so I ignore the lone operative, whatever the hell it's called. So the Forge Fiend scooches up his 8, is within 12 of the Phobos Librarian, nuke the Phobos Librarian squad. We advance and charge with Abaddon and the Red Squad onto the Land Raider. So we just murder the Land Raider with Abaddon. These guys finish off the Sanguinor over here. And then down here, he still has a squad on the objective over here. We have the cultists tying up the 2 dudes left over here. The bikes died. These guys came back to shoot Sile, which I think he kills him, and then we get back up, scooch up, and then charge the dudes over here to just keep them in combat. The Librarian Dreadnought's still alive. These guys came in from reserves over on this side, and I still have some Nurglings back here tying up Melted dudes in the back. So it's looking pretty good right now for board control for the Chaos Space Marines. We get 12 on this turn because we held this one, and that one. We didn't have anybody on that objective yet. And then we get 5 for Bring It Down, which was the Land Raider. And we get Defend Stronghold, which was over here. So he actually stole, I believe, our Defend Stronghold because he got his guys on our objective, which I wasn't able to stop because I think I failed my leadership on my cultists. So he was able to stop that from me. Yep, so the Melted dudes came in, got teleported over here, shot my Forge Fiend, charged my Forge Fiend, stole the objective. On our turn, we had to get it back. So by turn 4, this is how many Accursed Cultists we brought back. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 big guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 little guys with the leader. So basically, they did their once per game advance to charge, move up, advance, and then charge the last dudes on my home field objective to try and take it back. We're controlling these 2 now because we killed the Melted dudes over here. Abaddon spent his 1 CP to advance up and charge the Dread over here. So in this game, Abaddon basically killed 4 Centurions, a Lane Raider, and a Dreadnought, and still lived at the end of the game. So a huge difference between the first game and this game was just Abaddon had to commit at certain points, but the MVP was totally the undivided Forge Fiend, surviving the whole game and killing those guys getting out of Land Raider on turn 2. So our turn, we finished up with Engage on all fronts. We had Defend Stronghold because we had to keep it. We got Tempting Target because we held basically all 3 of the center objectives. And Secure No Man's Land, we had 5 as well. So for primary, we had 9. Here we go. We had 9, turn 2, 12, 12, 15. He had 3, 3, and then 6. And then 12 for the total. So we had 12 out of 50 for primary. He had 13 out of 40 for secondary points, and then 10 for paint score. So we finished up for him 35 to 98. So 98 to 35 for the Chaos Space Marine. Again, I'm Scribble, old school. So that is all there. So this is the end of it. Oh, dude, next game's going to be insane. All right, so this is the final table. We have Abaddon clearing off the backfield. We got these guys with the character on there, character on there. The Nurgling survived the whole game with 1 wound. Nurgling's children over there, character over there. So we basically have all of the primary. 2 Forge Fiends. This guy, I think, is dead. But 2 Forge Fiends are both left with 2 wounds, so they actually survived. Rolled some pretty key saves, especially on the Meltan. He rolled like shit for the damage, re-rolled the damage, still shitty. So yeah, completely different game from the first time to the last time. That's our team captain, Cuddle Buddies, with the Cuddle Buddy ugly sweater. So biggest thing that I noticed is with the Blood Angels, they have to focus down each squad individually, but if they lose key units like the Centurions and the Flamer guys, like that is a huge swing when it comes to volume of fire, auto hitting twin linked Flamers, which is just insane for a Cursed Cultist. So if I can take those out as soon as possible, or if Abaddon charges a Land Raider, kills the Land Raider, guys get out, I think he just took him out of Land Raider too soon. If he would have left him in the Land Raider, I don't know if I would have been able to surround the Land Raider enough and get enough bodies to kill the guys inside. But that'll basically come up in the next mission because we're able to kind of surround the guys by so much and then kill the guys inside if whoever can't get out. So that'll be the next game against Orcs. So guys, appreciate it. Thanks for clicking on the video. Let me know what you liked, didn't like, how we can improve these types of videos. Do you like the type of setup? And leave in the comments lists or videos from game 1 and 2, and then once 4 and 5 come out, we'll post those in the description below. But we hit 7,000 subscribers from the beginning of the first video. If you guys want to support the channel, head over to patreon.com. You get to see these videos ahead of time, about a week early before they get released on YouTube. And you get to support us so we can make more videos like this. A lot of tactical videos are coming up if you guys haven't noticed. We're trying to make it as simple as possible. And for guys who comment about like, wow, I didn't know this rule is how it's played that way, like those are the best comments to leave. The ones that are saying like, oh, doing this way is scummy, but it's the right rule, so why would it be scummy? The whole point of the videos is to get people better at the competitive scene and know the actual rules that are played in 10th edition, so that way you're not either making up rules or playing what your buddy says. Like, you should really play what rules are as written for 10th edition, so that way when you go to a tournament, you feel like you're playing the right way against other people that are playing the right way. So guys, let me know in the comments below what you think, how we can improve, and we'll see you in game 4 of the 5-game series against our Orc friend, which is just super crazy game. I cannot wait to talk about this game. What's up, gents? Welcome to the Dirtbag Nation Patreon page. This is going to be support to the Dirtbag Nation. Just to give you a little insight on what we're trying to do and trying to grow into, we're trying to grow a brand name of the Dirtbag Nation, 40k Dirtbags, going all over the country and coaching people to get better at the game of 40k. We have really good coaching over at the Dirtbag Nation. Myself is ranked #1 for Grey Knights in the world last year in 9th edition. This year, we're currently ranked #1 Chaos Space Marine player in the world on ITC 40k rankings. So we have a lot of experience over at the channel, and a lot of the coaches are going to start joining in and joining the Dirtbag Nation to help you guys get better at 40k. If you guys are new to the Patreon page, we have a couple different tiers. The first tier is the $1 tier. That's basically just coming over, supporting us for $1 a month. You get first access to the Dirtbag videos up on Patreon. The next tier is a $5 tier. Basically, you get first access as well as just have a little bit more branding with the Patreon Discord page. And you want to support us a little bit more than $1 a month. I really appreciate both you guys. The $10 tier is the competitive Dirtbag page. That's where we get more into the tactics, one-on-one coaching on the Discord. And if you guys have any questions, comments, list ideas, tactics, or game questions, you guys get to message us one-on-one through Discord. Make sure you take advantage of that, because it's completely up to you to ask me any questions you possibly need in the 40k community. Finally, we have the Grandmaster Dirtbag. That Dirtbag is above and beyond. They come out and they basically want us to coach them one-on-one with calls on via Discord, TTS games, battle reports, or any tactical videos that you guys want suggestions to, you guys will get first access to, and we actually play live games for you guys, or go over battle reports for our Grandmasters. Anything armies that you want to see specifically on the tabletop, that's the Grandmaster Dirtbag page. So it's just an explanation on what the different tiers are for Patreon. But again, thank you so much for the support. If you guys are thinking about it, you do have really good coaching. We drink beers, we have fun, we just kind of chill out and teach you guys how to have fun at 40K, unlike some other people on YouTube. But have fun at 40K, be good, win some games, more than you're averagely winning over there all over the world. And if you guys really just want to support the channel, we have our $1 and $5 a month as well. There's all the stickers and dice available to you guys at a discount, and you have your own Patreon tab in Discord that nobody else has access to besides you guys. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for the support. We're going to grow Dirtbag Nation as much as we possibly can in 2024 and get it all thanks to you guys. Appreciate it.